What's up, guys? You're watching NorCal Daily Driven. My name's Salim. Welcome to my channel. If this is your first time, thanks for clicking that play button. And if you watch my other videos, thank you for clicking that play button also. I really appreciate it. Anyway, so if you guys seen any of my other videos, especially my last one, at the end of the video I told you guys that I bought a new car, or I was trying to close a deal on a new car, and the car is not local, it's out of state. And I've talked about this in another video as well, buying cars out of state. So in this case, I'm not flying there to pick it up because it's pretty far out. It's in Florida. I'm getting it shipped. So anyway, long story short, I've been really wanting to get a new car. I've had like 4 E36s in the past couple 3.5 years. E36 M3s. It's more of like a fun car for me, or like a daily car. I'm not really like too excited about it anymore. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's still a fun car. Like, I enjoy it, it's a good daily or whatever, but it's not like the car I want, the car that I see myself driving on the weekends, and like, you know, the it car for me. So basically I wanted to get a new car, and right now me and my wife are at a point where, you know, I can do that. So I started looking for a new car. I'm not going to tell you guys what it is, but I'm sure you can figure it out. If you guys follow me on Instagram, it's at NorCal Daily Driven. I put up a recent post. If you're an enthusiast, I'm sure you can figure out what I'm planning to get here, or what's on its way. So I've been looking pretty hardcore for the past couple months. And I mean, there's tons of them out there, but I'm just not trying to dive into one. I want a really good deal. I want to make sure that, you know, and I do this with a lot of the cars that I bought in the past too, that if I'm buying something pretty expensive, I want to buy it at a point where I know, like, if I only carry, or if I only drive it for a year, or I only keep it for a year, that in a year I could flip it and I could either break even, or maybe I'll lose a little bit of money. But that's my thing. I never buy brand new cars because of this. I don't want to be the guy who takes the biggest hit on depreciation. There are guys that can afford that. You know, they want the latest and greatest. They want it right away. So they'll go ahead and do that. But that's not me. I can't afford that. So I'm the guy who lets someone else take the depreciation hit, and then I'll go ahead and buy the car used. So anyway, I started looking for this car or whatever. I've been on, you know, Craigslist, Cars.com, Auto Trader, Car Gurus, like every website you could think of, I've been on it, and I'm looking hardcore, right? And I'm not looking just local here in California, Bay Area. I'm looking nationwide, so it makes my search a lot more thorough, in depth. I'm looking at a lot more cars than you would think. So anyway, one day I just skipped my morning routine. I look like for like an hour. I look on all these websites just to see, you know, if anything new popped up, if any really good deal pops up. And it's kind of like overkill for some people, but that's how you got to be. If you're really trying to find a deal, you got to be really on top of it, because these things come up and they could just go just as fast also. So anyway, I got a list of websites that I usually check, like in a certain order. I think on one day I just missed a certain website, and usually some of these cars, they overlap. You see them on the same website over and over, or on this multiple websites over and over, the same car, because people just like to host them a lot, or a dealership hosts on multiple websites. But anyway, I missed looking at this website, I think one day in a row, maybe 2 days in a row, whatever. Anyway, one day I came in and I looked on it. It was a Thursday, and boom, this car pops up, and and there's no picture. Like, the price is super low compared to what I've seen. It's the color that I want, or one of the colors. I've been looking for a couple colors, the red or white in this particular car, because I like it a lot. And it popped up, and the price is like ridiculous, like compared to market value, or like what I've been seeing them going, and the mileage is like on the lower side. So it doesn't make any sense to me, and there's no pictures, so that's what's even harder. I'm like, dude, you know what? It's just like one of those scams, just bullshit. They're gonna, you know, what is it? Bait and switch. They lure you in. They tell you, or it's a certain car, but it's not that car, and when you find out it's some other thing. But anyway, long story short, I call the dealership and I speak to one of the guys who picks up the phone, and I'm like, hey man, you guys have this ad for this car, but there's no pictures. Is there any way you could send me the pictures? Is this car legit? Is this really what you have? And he's like, yeah, it's legit. We just took it in on trade two days ago from an older gentleman. He bought a new car from us, and he wanted to get rid of this car, or he traded this car in from it. And I was like, okay, well, you know, it's not unheard of, but, you know, is there any pictures that you can send it to me? Like, can you send it to me right now? Can you take it with your cell phone and just text them to me? And he's like, yeah, I'm gonna text it to you or whatever. So I mean, 30 minutes feels like 30 days, right? When you're waiting for something like that, especially on a deal. So An hour passes, he doesn't send it to me, so I call him again. I'm like, hey man, can you send it over? And he was like, look, my internet sales guy, he just took pictures of it or whatever, so he's gonna send it over, or I'll send him to you in an email right away. And boom, the ad gets updated and it's got pictures, and the car is gorgeous. I mean, it looks like really good condition. Like it's unbelievable for the price they were asking, and the pictures that I'm looking at just doesn't add up. So I'm still skeptical. Like, it just doesn't make sense from like all the cars that I've seen, the price range that they should be going for, and what this is listed at just doesn't add up. But anyway, like I'm following through. I'm telling the guy, I'm like, hey man, I call him back. I'm like, I'm really serious about buying this car. I was like, can I put a deposit on it? I want to hold it. Like I've done it in the past with other people. Like, you put a deposit on it, they hold the car, you get your finances in order, everything, and then you seal the deal on it. And he's like, I don't know, he's giving me the salesman pitch or whatever. He's like, no, my manager won't take a deposit on it right now. So, and I'm like, dude, what am I gonna do? I wanted to go through a bank that I use locally here and then just wire the money to them, because at this point I wanted the car. Like, it was legit, it looked solid. Like he was gonna send me videos of it running, of the underside of the car and everything. I mean, I know you guys are probably thinking it's Florida, it's probably a flood damage car, but it's not. I ran the Carfax, I ran the auto check, everything he said lined up. The car lived in that same area of Florida, and it wasn't at the southern tip of Florida where it got hit really hard by the hurricanes. It's more of like in the heartland or the mid area of Florida, and it's toward the west side where it's like and I looked up the news in that area for the past couple months or whatever. They didn't really get hit by any flooding or whatever, and if it was like random like streets or roads or whatever. So anyway, I did my homework. I told the guy I want the car, and then I talked to a buddy of mine who's bought a car out of the state, and he was like, you know what, dude? He's like, don't bullshit trying to line up your own financing. He's like, just go through their financing company, whatever it is, whatever they set you up with, and then when it gets here, you can refi it to whoever you want to, and use your lender of choice for the rate that you're hoping to get. And I was like, oh, this makes complete sense, right? I could refi it like immediately when I get it here. So I call the dealer back up. I'm like, hey dude, let's just run my credit, let's get this going. I want to seal the deal, So I get the paperwork going or whatever. They have to overnight me the paperwork to purchase the car. We settle on the price and everything. I didn't really haggle with them because, like I said, the price was really reasonable. Like, it just doesn't make sense for it to be this low to begin with. So, and I wasn't trying to lose it to someone else, because obviously there's a lot of people in that area of Florida that this car really relates to. So I mean, any time I wasted, I'm sure I was going to lose the car. And he was telling me people were calling, which I could believe and I can't believe, right? It's the sales guy, it's a dealership, like, people tell stories all the time, but whatever. I would believe this story because of how well it was priced. Anyway, so they have to overnight me the documents so that I could sign it, actually, like my actual signature. It's not something you can email, which is ridiculous. In 2017, I could buy a house through DocuSign, which is like an online service where I'm signing my signature electronically, but I can't buy a car doing through DocuSign, right? They actually have to physically send me papers. So he sends the papers out. I get them on Saturday. So this happened on a Thursday. I get I fill the paperwork out, or I tell them to run it on Friday. So they send me the paperwork out. It gets to me on Monday. I fill it out. There was an area where the sales guy had got my well, it's gonna be a long story. Anyway, one of the documents had the incorrect information on it. He told me that I could cross it out and just initial it, send it back. It should be fine. The bank shouldn't have a problem with it. So that's what I do. I send it back. Gets there the next day. So it's Wednesday. They're supposed to process the documents. They hit up the bank. The bank's like, nope, won't take it. He crossed over this place and initialed it. We don't allow that. It has to be like uncorrected documents. Has to be legit, like all the way through. So dude, now I'm stuck, right? Like, now he's gonna have to send me the documents again. I wait overnight again, blah blah blah. Anyway, I finally get the documents sent back to them, but it's on a Saturday overnight. But Saturday they don't do overnight shipping in this small town in Florida, so I had to wait till Monday. So Monday comes around, they get the documents. He's like, I submitted it to the bank, everything should be good. We don't need any more documents from you. So Tuesday comes around. I call the bank up myself, and I'm like, hey, do you have everything from me? Do you need anything else? They're like, yeah, we're actually waiting for proof of residency from you. Can you provide us like a bill or something that you get at your house to prove that you live there? That's your address. And I'm like, dude, why didn't the dealer tell me this? Like, I want to get this process going, because again, like, it's not locked down. It's not my car, even though we're in the motions. Like, I don't know the dealership that well for them to not just out from under me, you know, sell the car to someone who walks in. The guy told me he's not going to do that. I could believe him, but at the same time, you know, you have those worries. You're 3,000 miles away from this place. You don't really have control over something like that. Anyway, so I'm rushing on it. I call the dealer back up. I'm like, hey, you guys need these documents. They're also waiting for some documents from you guys. So, like, you know, let's get it going. At the same time, I got a buddy or a gentleman that acquaintance that I know from a Facebook group that are a bunch of car guys, and this guy does car shipping all the time. Like, he's done it for like a bunch of guys on that Facebook page. He does it for a living as far as like shipping products and goods like across the states and also out of the states. So I hit him up. I was like, hey man, can I get a quote, you know, shipping a car from Florida in close to California? And as opposed to another place that I got a quote from that I've shipped a car from in the past, he gave me a really good price. I was like, dude, that's awesome, let's do it. So I was like, and I had him lined up the week before when I thought the documents were done, and he was like, all right, dude, the truck will be there on that Saturday. They'll pick it up. And I was like, cool, Saturday, like, you know, they're gonna pick it up. It's gonna be here like 5 days, so no big deal. But then I found out that, you know, they messed up the documents, so now I'm waiting around. So I told the guy, hey, can you stand by? Once this stuff is done, I'll let you know. So anyway, Wednesday of that week, which was like a week and a half ago, the bank approves everything. I'm good to go. Like, they're like, you could come, you could send the truck to come pick up the car. So I hit the guy up. I'm like, dude, let's get the truck lined up, you know, let's go. And he's like, okay. So he hits up the guy or the broker company, whatever, that gets the trucks lined up, and they're like, you know, probably Friday or Saturday. That was Saturday of last weekend. So I'm like, okay, Friday comes around. No, they can't do Friday, so possibly Saturday. Saturday comes around. Sorry, can't do Saturday. It's gonna be 100% gonna be picked up on Monday of this last week, which today is Friday, so 4 days ago. I'm like, cool. So I leave this week. I was really trying to get the car because I leave for a trip actually tonight out of town for a week. So this car, I wanted this car to drive it and, you know, actually get to enjoy it and take delivery of it, get video of it. Obviously, you know, that's like a big deal, right? Everybody that, you know, especially nowadays with YouTube and everything, everybody that gets a car, like the whole video is about like the car dropping out of the back of the truck. It's a big deal. They started, sounds badass, blah, blah, blah. I wanted that feeling. I wanted to experience that or whatever. And as much as I fought for it, as much as I tried to push this to get this thing, you know, loaded in the truck and get over here before that, unfortunately, I couldn't make that happen. It's just these trucking companies, you're at their mercy. Your order or whatever goes up on a board. They pick it. If they have other cars lined up and their truck is full and yours is the last one to go in, boom, they hit the road and they get going. If their truck is not full, because that's how these guys get paid, right? They're not going to leave some main city unless their truck has, like, you know, a full load. So unless it's not full, your car really doesn't matter, right? Like, it has to get full, then your car will go with that full load. So they told me Monday, they didn't pick it up. Tuesday came around, Tuesday didn't pick it up. Now I'm really frustrated because, look, I understand you can't get to it or whatever, but tell me 100% day. Just don't bullshit me and keep playing me, stringing me along and not doing it. So so Tuesday night I called the broker. I'm like, dude, this is the situation. What's the deal? He's like, I'll give you them your phone, or give you their phone number so you could call the truck yourself on Wednesday morning. So I call the guy. I'm like, dude, what's the issue? Like, are you gonna pick up my car or not? And he's like, oh, the driver's got to go to a dentist appointment today. After the dentist appointment, he's gonna pick it up this afternoon. That was Wednesday, 2 days ago. So afternoon comes around, 3 o'clock our time, 6 o'clock their time. I hit him up. I'm like, dude, what's up? Did you guys pick up my car? Because my sales guy said that the car is still here. Like, what the hell? Come on. So I called him up and he's like, oh, you know, the guy went to the dentist appointment. He got a swollen face or whatever. We had to send him home. It wasn't safe, blah, blah, blah. He's going to pick up the car tomorrow. So I kind of blew up on the phone on this guy. Like, don't bullshit me. Just tell me straight up. You guys have been stringing me along for the last 3 days. Like, why? Just give me a date. Even if it's like next week and you're telling me it's next week at this day, at this time, do it 100%. Go get it, right? Just don't string me along. Like, that's more annoying that you keep telling me this day, this day, this day, and you don't show up. Because it also frustrates me as well as the sales guy who gets the car ready or whatever to get loaded up and sent out. Anyway, they took all that seriously, I'm guessing, and on yesterday morning, Thursday, they finally go pick up the car. Salesman texts me, boom, the truck just rolled up into the driveway. I'm gonna help them get everything prepared. It's gonna get loaded up and taken care of, right? Awesome, great, right? 5 minutes don't pass. The sales guy texts me, your driver locked both your keys in the car. Like, holy crap, can it get any worse, right? This guy just was there for 5 minutes, couldn't do the job right, and he locked the keys in the car already. And I'm like, okay, as long as, is the car in the truck at least? And he's like, no, it's outside the truck. Oh, come on, you're killing me. So these are one of those cars that have services like Mercedes, they have that SOS service, like GMs, they have OnStar service, like I think Ford has a service or whatever. These cars have so much technology in them these days that you could call like the headquarters or whatever. If they got your VIN number and you're signed up to the service, they could unlock your doors and do other services for you, right? Like you can, they could track your car for you, whatever. So I call up the service for this car and I'm like, hey, you know, this is my VIN number. Can you guys unlock my car for me? They're like, sorry, sir, our service isn't active on your vehicle right now. I was like, oh, great, right? I'm like, dude, what am I gonna do now? So I call the sales guy back and he's like, oh, you know, I got my service guys trying to take a look at it, see what we can figure out or whatever, without obviously hurting the vehicle. Boom. 2 minutes later, the sales guy texts me back like, hey man, we got it open. I was like, oh, you saved my life, man. Like you really saved my life. I really didn't want to hear what you were telling me earlier, but thank you. So I call him up like, hey man, what'd you figure out? He's like, on these cars, like there's no window frame. It's a coupe, so the window, when the door closes, the window tucks into the roof, like on the weather stripping seal. So he's like, when this guy closed the door didn't close all the way, so the window never closed itself, so there was still a gap there. So he was able to fish a wire in there, or some like a coat hanger or something, and hit the trunk button. So they popped the trunk, climbed through the car, were able to get the keys, got it open, and he's like, we finally got the car loaded up and it's on its way. So that's the whole story, guys. Long story short, the car's on its way. I'm not going to be in town when the car gets delivered. Luckily, my brother's around, huge car guy, the only other person I'll trust to do this for me. He's going to take delivery of it, so hopefully we're going to get some footage of it and everything. But I come back next week from the trip, and you know, obviously, and I really don't want, when I heard that I'm not going to be here for picking up the car, like I was like, man, do I really want to go on this trip? But I mean, you know, tickets are booked, wife already made plans, I already made plans, so we're going on the trip. And hopefully, you know, the car will be here in one piece and it's exactly as described, or all the pictures that I saw. And obviously I'll get the video up so you guys can see it. It's going to be epic. I can't wait to drive this car. I can't wait to own this car. I got to clear up some space in my other garage so that I can put this in the other garage and this in the main garage with the paint job and everything. You guys seen that in some of the videos. But anyway, long story short, guys, so new car coming to the channel. I really appreciate you guys listening to me rant. Hopefully, you know, you guys watched it this far. If not, all good, no worries. I'm sure you guys will check out some of the next videos. But again, if you like this video and you guys want to see what next car's coming, please hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. I really appreciate all you guys' support. Follow me on Instagram for more updates. It's at NorCal Daily Driven. And I'll catch you guys on the next video. So till then, enjoy the ride.